The whole purpose of a republic is that you are governed by the consent of the people, meaning you're accountable. Your policies, if they are unpopular or if they are bad for the body politic, get corrected, and the people ultimately, over time, get what they want, except for unlimited migration from the third world, which our leaders have decided is going to happen if nobody asks for it. And if nobody consented, which they don't, virtually no rational person in any civilized society wants the ISIS leader of Somalia to be getting social housing and benefits in the UK. But he is. His entire family is living in the United Kingdom, and the taxpayers are paying for it. It is a war crime. It is a crime against humanity, prosecutable under the Geneva Convention and at The Hague, what our globalist leaders have done to relatively peaceful and secure and safe Western nations. We fought multiple world wars in order to have peace in our time, yet they have imported the most violent populations on earth. And now, Tommy Robbins is saying, you cannot make this up, that England is paying for the ISIS leaders to live among them and to kill them. Somali migrant arrested for beheading in Northern Ireland. This is a video that is so graphic. Of course, I will not be able to show it on the channel. You can find it if you wish. I don't recommend it unless you're planning on being completely black-pilled, or if you have a strong stomach, maybe you should watch it. A Sudanese migrant, they're going back and forth as to whether he's Somali or Sudanese. I'll explain to you in a minute why it doesn't matter. A Sudanese migrant is under arrest in Belfast, Northern Ireland, after he was seen attempting to saw a man's head off with a knife. The attack took place on a street as onlookers tried to get the man to stop. The victim's face and head covered in his own blood. He is trying to cut his head off. The graphic video was shared widely on social media. The man was being held immobilized. There are reports that this man has now passed away in the hospital, that he was blinded, and that they took both of them to the same hospital after others jumped in to wrestle the attacker to the ground. Thank God there's still some Klansmanship amongst the British people. The Daily Mail reports outside of an apartment building on Cunard Avenue at 10 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have to live like this. This is something that is happening in our societies by choice. Sydney Watson here with an absolute banger and speaking on behalf of all Westerners in civilized societies. Why do we keep bringing barbarians into our nations? Listen to this. I have to say this. These videos light a rage in me that I cannot describe. I'm so angry and so sad that white countries continue to put up with this because of tolerance, because being called racist is more frightening than watching your countrymen get hacked to death, stabbed, shot, raped, or mutilated. I'd rather be called a racist all day long than stand back and watch my fellow people get their heads hacked off by a 50 IQ foreigner from some African S-hole. I am just done. African migrant just tried to behead a white man in Belfast. So a couple of things. Why is this African migrant in Belfast, in Northern Ireland, one of the most northern cities in the world? Why is he there? He's there not because he built a boat or could fly a plane or could pay his own way or was able to migrate himself legally. He's there because the government flew a plane into Somalia or Sudan, picked him up from a war zone and brought him in with taxpayer dollars, then gave him benefits. Of course, not being able to speak English, not being able to hold down a job, having no skills, you have to subsist on public housing. And by the way, taking somebody out of their native land and bringing them to someplace so foreign, which Western societies feel unbelievably foreign to somebody from a third world caveman nation, like bringing somebody there, it's almost a cruelty because they'll go and say, they won't understand it, just like we don't understand where they live. But, frankly, some people seem happy enough where they are. Nobody asked the people of England if this is something they wanted. Nobody put this up for a vote. No, it needs to be put on a national, there needs to be a national moratorium. There needs to be a national question, a constitutional convention. that says, should we repeal Hart-Celler? Should we ever allow another third world migrant into our nation? And guess what the result would be? Probably 90-10. I think there's 10% of society that's suicidal. And this is what suicidal looks like. What's the levels of violence in Sudan? I mean, listen, if you're bringing people in from Sudan or Somalia, you have to ask the question, like, you're bringing in the culture of Sudan. So what are they going to bring to your nation exactly? Sudan is experiencing extremely high levels of violence. It has an ongoing civil war, the Sudanese armed forces, and allied militias. This has caused tens of thousands of direct deaths, widespread atrocities, ethnic targeting, mass killing, rape, looting, massive displacement, famine. Ordinary crime and homicide rates are relevant in this context because the country is murdering itself in mass death. Why would you bring someone from that culture here? Global comparison. Sudan ranks amongst the least peaceful countries in the world. The conflict is one of the world's deadliest active wars. So why would you ever bring somebody in from Sudan? What about Somalia? Somalia experiences high levels of violence, primarily driven by ongoing conflict with ISIS, clan militias, and criminality. Reliable civilian crime statistics are limited due to weak governance, underreporting, and decades of instability since a 1991 civil war collapse. The homicide rates are some of the highest in the world, but they don't even have accurate data. It's probably way worse than we even know. Somalia has elevated levels of inbreeding and close kin marriages. Is this something that you want in your country? They have cousin marriages and child marriages and genital mutilation. Is that something you want in your country? Well, then why bring people from those cultures? If your culture is permissible of beheadings and race wars, then why would you bring them to your Western society? I don't want that in my society. And it's not wrong to say it. Somalia has been arrested following the attempted beheading. A Restore Britain government would end all immigration from Somalia, review all existing visas, and deport Somalis who should not be in Britain enough, says Rupert Lowe. What happened in Belfast last night, says Nigel Farage. The authorities must reveal the identity of the attacker immediately. The public is entitled to know the truth. Watch the video. Face the brutal reality of mass third world migration. It's ugly, filthy, and devastating. Don't look away. The politicians and activists facilitating this are directly responsible for the rape, gang, stabbings, and beheadings. That's exactly right. Understand what's at stake. The West must carry out mass deportations. The East must prevent mass immigration at all costs. Wake up before it's too late. Europe in 2026 in 2 pictures. That's exactly right. Why is this Somali scumbag in our country? Who gave him permission? Who brought him here? How did he arrive? What's on his visa? Is he working? Is he on benefits? Social housing? We paying for it? Of course you're paying for it. Who authorized this? I demand answers. Doing that in Parliament, says Rupert Lowe. The people are
up to watch the footage of a migrant sitting on top of a man trying to cut his head off in the middle of the street in Belfast is sadly no surprise at all. Now, you see, we've imported these fucking animals, these inbred pieces of pig shit that are prepared to raise the bar when it comes to violence.
The people are angry. In England, there was a hero who stepped in and used a stick in order to pry the barbarian off of the man he was trying to behead. There are now requests. Prime Minister, sickening video in Belfast, full details of the savage's nationality, immigration status, and religion must be made available to the public as a matter of urgency. The British people need to know the truth immediately now. Diversity is not our strength. I'm tired of pretending that it is. What do you mean you're worried about savages beheading you? This is the enemy. This is the person who brings in the barbarians. Because of groupthink, because of hive mind, because of herd mentality and not wanting to be seen as some naughty word. They're willing to overlook the rape, pillaging, beheading, torture, and murder of their own countrymen in order to not be called a nasty name or to think highly of themselves when they look in the mirror. It is evil personified. It is suicidal empathy. It must come to an end. Let me know in the comment section what you think. It's your boy Benny.